We at BTTV took it up with experts to understand the contours of the biggest ever aviation deal and the impact it's expected to have. With experts, my colleague and Business Today's managing editor Siddharth Zarabi caught up with Mark Martin, the founder and CEO at Martin Consulting, and aviation expert Jitendra Bhargava. Here's a slice from that conversation.
I think the important thing to understand is that India, from our commercial airline fleet perspective, after Jet Airways collapsed and prior to that Kingfisher, our fleet is already in a negative by roughly about 300 aircraft. And despite Indigo's growth in terms of fleet, we really haven't been able to replenish the lost fleet from our capacity. Air India's deal for Airbus with Airbus and Boeing not only replenishes our fleet but also brings in a whole new level of product freshness with our airline service offering. And from a strategic perspective, this becomes a very tactical step where Air India would be going head to head and competing with most Gulf carriers, including Emirates, Etihad, and Qatar Airways, because now Air India has that unique Swiss knife capability of flying ultra long range with a very good product offering.
By when do you expect these aircraft to be inducted into the Air India fleet?
Air India should be very lucky to get the first few aircraft by July this year. We're looking at a 6 months delivery at least for the A350 and maybe a few Airbus A320 or 321 NEOs. In terms of optimal capacity deployment, the current fleet of Air India is roughly about 140 odd aircraft. So the current fleet plus the new inducted fleet, which should come in or rather start trickling in by June, July, August, we're expecting this to continue till about at least 18 months from now. So by 2024, June, July, August, we should see Air India with a good 350 aircraft in terms of commercial deployment, which includes its existing fleet. So I think eventual full saturation of the 470 aircraft plus whatever that's remaining, the 787s, we should see that by around 2026, 2027.
One of the things that a lot of people are asking, what does it really do to airfares? At least if not in the immediate context, but in the medium term once these aircraft are in, because we have been experiencing high airfares, especially in the domestic context.
So with Air India, the key focus is going to be looking at an international network and focusing more in terms of its global position, getting back to where it was as an iconic airline and being amongst the top 5 airlines in the world. So while the Airbus A350 would be deployed aggressively internationally on ultra long haul destinations and routes, we must be also mindful that Air India has bilaterals with practically every country, including exotic destinations as the French Polynesian Islands, Tahiti, Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, and several others. So Air India will want to deploy its long-range aircraft. The new inducted or the fleet that they intend to get as part of the new order promises about 28 to 30% of lower operating costs. This means lower fuel burn, lower carbon emissions, higher reliability, much more simplified, lower maintenance tasks, and a very high level of airworthiness, so the ability to fly more, fly longer, and fly further. So all of these, when added up, should bring down airfares, and the Airbus A320 or the 321 LR fleet, which Air India expects to deploy locally within our region. When I say our region, I mean the region that extends from possibly Mauritius, Maldives, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Singapore. That entire footprint with the new aircraft that's being inducted should bring down fares to a reasonable balance.
On the fares question,